Now, start my tying thread. I'm using an 8/0 tying thread with this. I'll start it about in the middle. Come forward, dress that hook shank. Very important, dress that hook shank. That keeps everything from spinning around the hook. Then I'm going to use a barred feather. This happens to be a teal. You could use mallard breast, just anything with some good barring on it. By barring, I mean the striped, if you will, the grizzly and or the black and white of the feather, the barring. That becomes the tail. That's a little bit long. So what I'm going to do is just grab the butts and pull them through till I get about the length that I want there. I'll get rid of those butts. And then floss. This happens to be a 4-strand floss. I'm going to lay it on. I don't care what the length is. Get it all bound down good. Now when this fly was originally tied, and I have never done this, but when the fly was originally tied, this acetate floss that we're using, they would dip that butt section of this fly in acetone just for a few seconds, 10 or 15 seconds. What that would do is make that butt section, this orange, just hard like plastic. Well, that all slipped down on me. I'll capture it again. But it would make it just hard like plastic. I have never done it. It also makes it very much more shiny. But the problem that I don't want to do, well, I don't want to fool with acetone, but I don't know that it would damage that tail or not. It may well not. I don't know, but I've just never done it. Now I'm going to take some peacock curl again. Peacock curl is a wonderful, wonderful material no matter what fly you're tying, even though this is a wet fly. This happens to be a wet fly hook. I don't want it on a dry fly hook at all. I want that fly to go down. Tie it again by the butts or by the tips. Don't tie it by the butt. Make a little peacock rope out of that. 6 or 8 times, that's all you need to do, go around. And then this becomes the front 2/3 of the fly. There's that portion of it. I'll get rid of that. Get rid of the butt section. And then this is what really sets that fly off. This is a breast feather from a peacock. You can see how nice and shiny it is. Really a good blue. What I do with this fly is I turn it so the dull side is up to me. I'm going to then strip off most of the hackle off of the right side of that feather. I'll turn it over. I'm going to find the tip of it, the very tip. By stripping that hackle off, what that does, it makes it much more sparse on the hackle on the fly. Sometimes sparse is much better. More is not always better at all. I'm going to tie this in by the tip. The shiny side is up on that feather. And I've seen guys wrap this by just grabbing a hold of that stem with their fingers and wrapping it. I don't have good luck doing that. So I have a little pair of hackle pliers. I'll just grab that. And as you wrap that, then by tying it in by the tip, that feather just wants to naturally flow toward the rear of the hook. And that's what you're looking for, is that streaming to the rear. That will just breathe and carry on. I have said this, I don't know how many times. If I have one fly to fish with that I knew I had to catch a fish, I would use a soft hackle fly of some kind. I really have a lot of faith in soft hackle flies. All right, there's that. Cut that stem off, build yourself a little head right here. Put a whip finish on it. Cut the thread. And there's what's called a guaranteed. I did not go by the exact way the pattern reads. I did not dip that orange butt in acetone, but believe me, this will work just as well. That's a guarantee.